everybody, welcome to the video. Owen Fox here, just doing a little bit of a driving hands-free on the way to go into town. I hope you're all well. I just thought I'd make a little video because recently I haven't been making many videos. I guess I've been like really busy with my family and kids, being a full-on father, pretty much a full-time father basically speaking, really trying to run a business as well. But yeah, many of you may have known that like my mom, who I call generally ma'am, but I never say my ma'am, I say ma'am when I'm talking to her. But on Facebook it'll be mom or my mum. But yeah, she made her transition to leave her physical body behind and made return back home into either another body or at least her free spirit, you know, her original essence, her non-physical life, you know. And I just thought I'd make a little video to share like some things that I've noticed in myself regarding the whole like process of grief, or like getting over, so to speak, if that's the right word, grief, and like moving forward in life after losing somebody who meant so much to you and you were very close to. And the reason why I say somebody who you're like very close to or had a strong connection relationship with, and was pretty heavily involved in your life, because like I did lose many years ago my stepdad and my biological dad. They both transitioned into non-physical again, but I wasn't particularly upset with them, and it didn't really make too much difference to me because I wasn't really close to them, if you know what I'm saying. And I love and respect them, and I appreciate their part of my life, but I just wasn't really too much of a bond or connection, if you know what I'm saying, really, you know. I hadn't seen them much in many years as well. But my mom was like absolutely totally different. Like we were like super close, you know. Like sometimes I'd think or refer to her on social media posts occasionally, or in a video I'd be making as like kind of like my soulmate, or at least a soulmate, someone with a very close bond and connection with. So yeah, her going back into spirit was like a big thing. And I made a previous video. If you just check out my YouTube or Odyssey channel, you'll see a 40-minute, I think it was a 40-minute or 20 video I made the day of the funeral, the day before I started grieving heavily. And then also another 26-minute video approximately where I was making suggestions and about how to get over grief, which I'm not going to in this video. It's going to be hopefully a short enough video. But in the last video, which I'd recommend or suggest, I was just going through like so much about like grief, life after death, and many various things you may go through when you lose a loved one who's very close to you, and the whole like grieving process. And I was talking about my story, like how I went through a whole lot of emotions, like even unexpected ones, like angry. I was angry, more irritability and angry, and like shorter fuse. Like not that I was snapping, but not more, what's the word, like more sensitive and touchy with anger involved. Like just irritability kind of, I don't know, a strange thing, you know. I didn't expect that at all. So for around 2 weeks, yeah, pretty much 2 weeks, I felt sad, down, depressed, and also going through those emotions too, which made put a burden and a stress on my relationship kind of. You know, busy parents, lacking sleep too. Yeah, so I felt down and sad that I usually don't feel too. So I was doing a lot of crying and stuff like that. And like so some things I've noticed, because I gotta go shortly, but I'd love to talk to you longer though. I really like making these videos, you know. Yeah, Paula says no one like mom. I think definitely, for sure, at least some of us are blessed to have that type of relationship, and others aren't. You know, they have different types of blessings and different types of lessons. So Paula says, love you, to see you, thanks very much. Yeah, so basically speaking, some things what I feel like when it terms like the process of grieving, and for me I found like it's coming to terms with what's happened, coming to terms with reality. I found that can be very challenging for many people, me or other people who are grieving. And like, you know, grief can go on for years for some people in a very intense way, or it can go on for years in a way that's not like excruciatingly painful, so to speak. it depends on where each individual's at, like in terms of their spiritual growth, their awakening, their consciousness, if they're unconscious or more conscious, if they started a healing journey, or if they have a whole lot of unhealed trauma. So it definitely differs from person to person. Depends on your age, depends on your awareness and level of emotional maturity and emotional self-awareness too. There's a whole lot of factors. Overall, I feel like I've done sort of, it could have been a lot, way harder on me if it had happened like 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, like let's say 10, 15 years ago, especially before my awakening. So after accumulating life experience and wisdom, I feel it's made it a lot easier on me, but you know, obviously it hasn't been a stroll in the park or nothing like that. So yeah, what was I going to say? Just trying to find parking. Yeah. I find something we have to do is like I find a huge like issue or battle is our mind, like our mental battle, like, because we think basically all the time almost, you know, except for when we're meditating or like awestruck in nature or like doing something dangerous like rock climbing, where we can't afford to think because it'll distract us and the result could be our demise. So basically speaking, humans are thinking all the time almost, you know. So depending on the quality of your thoughts, like the thoughts create your life, and it really applies strongly to grieving. I feel also, like if we just happen to be always like unconsciously or automatically, not by deliberate choice, but just sort of thoughts happening to us about like memories and like painting a negative or sad or bad story about what happened, and we're going through like I wish this happened, or I resent this other person, or I'm blaming somebody, or I'm feeling guilty that I didn't do this, or I feel sad and regretful that I didn't do that. Like if we keep rehashing these type of thoughts, it's really going to affect us like deeply and profoundly, and we'll grieve so much stronger. Also, if we felt more safety and secure with somebody, and we are in a state of more vulnerability, woundedness, unhealedness and unconsciousness, and somebody passes on, that will trigger, if we happen to have traumas from a past too relating to safety and security, that'll trigger huge feelings of feeling unsafe, vulnerable, and maybe even like naked and afraid, like raw and tender. You know, I've gone through some of these before after my ex-partner left when she was also pregnant with our kid also. So I think if I hadn't have gone through that previous big uprising of past trauma, which that ex-partner triggered in me for 2 months or 2.5 months or something, this grief from my mum would have been made harder for sure. But because I've already emptied my cup of a lot of pain that I was carrying, less pain has had the opportunity to come up because there's less there in the first place that my mum's passing could trigger. So our awareness and empowerment of our thoughts to try, and also the past pain we have left over in us, I think is gigantic factors in terms of dealing with any loss or any current trauma, be it a grief, a betrayal, a sudden loss of our health, a big accident, a loss of our money, a loss of our partner. Basically speaking, once you go through it, the more you go through like life and you consciously let work on healing, any trauma or pain will be made easier to handle because you have experience with handling it, and you've also like emptied your cup of pain, so that pain can't resurface because it's not there anymore. You've already emptied the cup. So that's what healing is all about, and that's what empowerment and becoming more conscious and a master of your thoughts is all about too. You become a deliberate creator by becoming a deliberate chooser of your thoughts more, and a deliberate focuser of your thoughts. So I've been thinking much more, like not exclusively, I've been allowing, like I haven't been resisting or trying to suppress myself either, so I've been allowing the natural flow of tears daily, like a certain degree, almost daily, not every single day. But if you look at my last video, I'll say like for the first 2 weeks it was definitely every day, and it was pretty intense emotions, including crying too, especially when I got a chance to myself at night time or while driving, because otherwise with the family and kids all the time, so then I wouldn't have the opportunity properly, except for when I was driving with them too, because then it'd just be all kind of quiet enough kind of to myself, sort of, so to speak. But yeah, after that I've been leveling up my thoughts of like feeling happy for my mom. She's not in her body. Like our bodies are just like our vehicles, you know. So we don't own anything in this physical world. We're just adventurers. We're just journey people here. We're just having a trip here. That's all we're doing. Like we don't own anything here. We don't own our bodies. Like everyone's going to pass on. It's just we're just having an adventure here. That's all it is. And the body is just like our car. It's not who we are. We don't own it. It's not us. Our spirit is what's true. If you see the film Soul, then you get a good idea. Like we come down here, we choose the body, we probably choose a personality. Possibly, I'm not really too sure. So I think the biggest factor is contending with our thoughts and also then contending with our emotions, especially with our thoughts though. So yeah, that's what I feel in me and others really plays a big part. It also how many other friends or family or support system we have who are close. Because if we have all of our eggs in one basket and we only have one friend and then that person like passes on, I think that's going to make it harder. Is that person leaving? Yeah, they're leaving. Go ahead, let them go, please, because I want to go in. So yeah, so I think grief will last much longer, like I said, if we're one way, and it'll be the more natural, shorter path without suppression and without spiritual bypassing. If we have the more practice, less trauma and wounds still left over in us, and more ability to deliberately choose and focus with our thoughts and to pick them instead of like get lost in a sad story, you know. So that's been my experience. That's made it more smooth, but still like a big thing for me to lose my mum. Like just one last thing, she's not gone forever or lost. She's just in a different place. So the physical vehicle, like her car or her clothes, like that's what the body is. Like it's like clothes or car. We just use it temporarily. It's our instrument. It's something we use. But we're the truth, and the life lives, and we can be more we can also learn to be in tune with the spirit in this people passed on the spirit world. So I better go because I finally got parking. But I wish us all truly all the best. Truly like deep love and like, you know, care for anyone who's lost a loved one. We're all going to have lots of losses in this lifetime, and ultimately we will lose our bodies, but we don't want to use that to try and suppress our emotions. So let the full flow of fear, sadness, anger, like regret, guilt, let it all be felt, but don't hang on to stuff like, you know, the belief around guilt, regret. And I recommend, like I said in the last video, probably go maybe see a medium or two, and also like stuff like angel cards or like various cards like Celtic cards or like fairy cards or different cards or passing on death cards or something like that. Get like a little bit of psychic help there too, or at least counsel or help or healing from holistic therapists of any kind which do energy healing like Reiki, bioenergy healing, spiritual healing, holistic acupuncturist. I've gone to a holistic acupuncturist once, and I will be going again soon just to help clear anything and let the energy flow more. So anyway, I truly care, and sincere condolences or sympathy, but also sincere like love and appreciate them and their continued journey, and you're going to join them again. So it's not all the fullest saddest story either, but it is a challenge and it is a growth factor in life. And get on with your own life. Like they want us to be happy. They do, they truly do, and they're truly expanded and deeply in a state of amazingness. So get on with your own life as much as you can without spiritually bypassing or suppressing your emotions, but do like work on also being happy and like live your purpose and like be happy as much as you can. Like do the things that invigorate you or like make you feel like purposeful or alive, meaningful, and touch your heart and warm your heart, and help others and be of service in some way that's also very sweet, beautiful, and purposeful. And keep going and like get the support you need from like I said, healers, holistic therapists, counselors, or friends or family, people who give you genuine kindness and care, you know. So I've been fortunate to have all of these, including these two psychics. Yeah, so yeah, and I better go. Loads of love. Thanks for watching. Give this a share if you feel inspired to help others about grief and just generally overcoming trauma and loss. It's really helped me knowing this. I know exactly how people may feel. I've felt this way in the past and I'm still going through it, and these are the things that I've found that have helped me to be better and to go forward, you know, in the way that my mum would love, or your like potential past, like whoever's close to you would have liked. So yeah, thanks for shares, likes, comments, as inspired, and I'll see you again another time, and loads of love. Thanks again. Have a beautiful day, and You're beautiful, sweet souls, as we all are.